You're listening to For Wales, See Wales. And if you want to know what's going on in Welsh politics at the moment, you're in exactly the right place. But for the time being, just give us a minute to hear from our sponsors.
Want to talk to you about our sponsor? Yeah, you know it. Hello, Starling.
Hello.
Starling.
Oh, that was a murmuration. So what they do is they plan campaigns for companies and organisations to get messages out. And I want to give you an example of one that they did. They worked with Visit Monmouthshire. Have you ever visited Monmouthshire?
I have. We've all worked together in Monmouthshire.
That's a beautiful theatre.
We have.
We did. We did a BBC comedy, a radio show in Monmouthshire, and it's actually a beautiful part of the world.
It's stunning.
So Hello Starling worked on the launch of the Eisteddfod in Monmouthshire, and it attracted over 140,000 visitors to the county. So what they do is they tailor really specific campaigns where they reach people either through kind of physical advertising or through digital advertising. And what that will then do is, because it's targeted, you're not wasting your money targeting people who are just never ever going to be interested in that project. You're getting right to the people who you've got a chance of winning over. And they are absolute experts in that. I try and sell Welsh politics. That is the hardest thing in the world to sell. And they've helped me do just that. So big shout out to Hello Starling. Visit them at hellostarling.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to For Wales, See Wales with me, Robin Morgan.
Me, Mel Owen.
And me, Will Hayward.
This is exciting.
It is exciting. Viewers of the podcast will see we were in the brand new HayMan Studios.
Brand spanking new. It's got green velvet curtains. It's actually what they used to do every week, wasn't it? They'd set up a purpose studio for us, but this is like their permanent studio.
It's cool, isn't it? It is really cool. If you're not on YouTube, just hop over. Well, we'll stick some stuff on socials as well for you to have a little look. But it does look great. So a fair play to HayMan, treating us so well.
Really, really cool. And at night it acts as an escape room as well, so it's perfect. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, do you know what, guys? I went to an escape room last night, got out with 7 minutes 53 seconds to spare. Come on.
That's pretty good. How long was the thing?
Hour.
All right. 12 hours.
Was there many of you doing it?
There was two of us. We are like best friends.
Okay.
And I think we just worked so well together. I wasn't going to bring this up, but you said escape room and I was like, I need to brag.
Did you go to them often?
Yeah, this is probably not my 6th or 7th.
Really?
I think it's my 6th.
Yeah. Got a stamp card.
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
I've only been to one once. Do they do like photos, like team photos at the end? It's kind of like theme park, roller coaster
with your
stuff.
timestamp at the end.
Yeah.
So everybody knows how great we were.
We should do one.
Yeah.
The three of us doing one would be incredible.
I really like that.
I'm in.
Let's definitely. There's a Cardiff Castle themed one where you've got to help Owain Glyndŵr. Yes.
No way.
Yes, I think that's the one we have to do.
Over Christmas, my son had some homework. We had to do like a presentation about Castle. He chose Cardiff Castle, so we went. I took both kids along to see the castle and go and sort of like inside. We went into the World War II bunker that they have there.
Yeah.
Like, and you just sort of wander in. It wasn't really advertised as like an immersive experience, but they had it was dark as shit and scary, and then you walk through it and it must have had a sensor on, and then it blared out this siren like bombs were going to drop. Me and my children were petrified. Cannot recommend it enough. So shit, they talk about it, and I was taking pictures of him that he could put on his little presentation for school. The picture of him in this bunker, he just looks like completely shell-shocked. I was like, go back in, we're going to take the picture. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Really
days.
good, really good. So I'd love to do the Cardiff Castle themed escape room.
Yes, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. Hein Galan Hapus to you
Yes,
both.
indeed.
It is
That's
the old, well, I don't know what, is it the pagan New Year? It's probably not.
Saturnalia.
Okay, I don't know what that is. What is
that?
It's the Feast of the Unconquered Sun in Roman history.
I now know less than I did before. Okay.
You know the Feast of the Unconquered
Sorry,
Sun?
yes, the Unconquered Sun. Yes, absolutely.
Shall we talk about something that was leaked?
Yes.
So last week I got one of the most exciting of messages. Somebody sent me some documents. And these were the documents that Labour, Welsh Labour, had sent to all 96 of their Senedd candidates for May. And there was two documents. The first one was called the Welsh Labour Policy Handbook. It was 150 pages, and it basically it described itself as Welsh Labour's policies on a huge range of areas and details of our Welsh Labour government's achievements over 26 years. 150 pages worth of achievements. So it's
Big font.
It's big. But the margins are actually really far in.
Love that going into the Microsoft Word margins.
Yeah, did you ever do that? Like,
Big time.
Yeah.
The header and the footer are fucking massive on this document.
Apologies in advance to anyone who's pre-ordered my book. Essentially, there to give candidates background on anything they might get questions asked on them. The second one was called the Welsh Labour Narrative, and this was described as Welsh Labour's 2026 core narrative, all about a fair future for Wales. And it says to candidates, please read and familiarise yourself with this. This is the story we want to be communicating with voters from now until polling day. Interestingly, after that, it did also say, please don't share this with anyone outside of the organisation. But
wow. I mean, first of all, how did you feel when you got this?
I was excited.
Yeah.
When I started reading it, I then doubted the veracity of it.
Yeah, sure. Like, how do you work out how official it is?
I spoke to someone else and cross-referenced it, essentially. I also thought, if this is a hoax and someone's hoaxed 150 pages, they've gone to a lot of effort. I substantiated it. It was sent out.
And talk to me through people leaking stuff to you. Obviously, this wouldn't have come from a Labour email address. This would have come from someone's personal email address, or was it DM'd? Was it a Dropbox link? Give me the specifics about how this leak happened.
You're on the train and someone's trying to airdrop you something.
Oh no, it's definitely a dick pic. No, thank you. But like, I have this idea of like you on a park bench and someone leaving a briefcase, but digitally.
Like, what happens? Obviously not.
When I said it, I said it was a message. That's obviously pretty broad.
Yes, yeah, of course.
I won't say any more than that because obviously the most important thing is source protection.
Sure.
But you have conversations with people, and quite often people don't necessarily proactively do things themselves. You would hear about the existence of something. You might speak to someone and say, "Am I barking up the right tree with this?" And that's the advantage of having you want sources that trust you, but also, so I won't go into detail of kind of how I got it, but the contents of it, I think part of the reason that it went into the public domain is maybe an undercurrent of frustration from people.
And what are they frustrated about with this 150? Because as a candidate, would you be expected to read that cover to cover and then be able to go to the doorstep and someone goes, well, what's your opinion on pylons? And you wouldn't go like, sorry, 1 second, page 34, where P index for pylons. You'd have to note, like, so is that the expectation that you would be completely on party lines?
I think a big part of it is that quite often it won't be when people are being interviewed in person. A lot of it will be like if they're responding on social media and they want to understand that kind of line, and like it's just something to refer to. You also, when you've got 96 candidates, the level of knowledge from the first 20 compared to the last 20 is quite disproportionate. So it's probably more for people who haven't been fully engaged and might be number 6 on a list, and someone says to them, what's the stance on this? And actually they want to understand, are we in favour of pylons? Will we hit, million Welsh speakers by 2050? So do you want to hear some bits of it?
Go on.
They start by basically saying that they need to acknowledge that things aren't very good, which is, fair enough. Yeah. So they say that across Wales, people feel that life has become harder than it should be. They talk about things like cost of living, not being able to see a GP, the decline of town centres, young people not being able to get work. And their conclusions are, we have to start from that truth, not talk over it. At the same time, politics has changed. Plaid Cymru are treated by much of the media as the natural party of change, especially after the recent by-elections. Reform are setting the emotional weather, telling people the whole country is broken, inviting them to give everyone in power a kicking. Right now, for Reform define anger, Plaid define hope. Our task is to do both better.
Sorry, no, we need to pause there. Sorry, I have to pause you there. What the fuck? Sorry? Does that not sound bad? We need to do both of those, but better.
Did you see Mel contort herself into basically she developed this kind of ailment where she's really crunched up?
Because it was so ridiculous.
It's hard to suggest that you're the party of new ideas when you're like, you see what those two are doing?
Yeah.
We're going to do both of that.
Yeah.
You like that? Which one do you like? Well, we're both of those
We're
things.
both of those.
That's really... Oh, that's bleak, isn't it?
So they say that they have to match Reform's emotional force and outshine Plaid's ambition. So basically they say that they can't be the party of business of usual in a change election. That's what they say.
Yep, makes sense.
Yes.
Totally fair. So that's a fair assessment. But then they say, this election must feel like the start of a new chapter, and a chapter that people will not want to risk losing. Our offer is simple. Stay the course. We cannot
I'm done. Sorry.
We must be the party of change. How? Stay the course.
Yeah. Trust the system.
Trust the process that we've had going for the last 26 years. So, no, we need to acknowledge that there needs to be change. But how do we get that across? By staying the same.
Yeah.
This is giving ChatGPT is what it's fucking
a lot,
know what?
a lot of M dashes in this thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny you said that because I actually ran it through an AI detector. And it said, like, this is like 99% definitely written by a human. Written by a human.
Okay.
No!
But also, really?
Yeah, sure.
I would have if Welsh Labour's document had been written by AI, I'd have led on that. That would have been amazing.
God.
But okay, I tell you what, they've basically outlined how the messaging that needs to counter Plaid and reform. They've got different plans for both.
Sure.
So I'll do the Plaid one first, and you guys can. Mel's worked in politics. She understands political messaging. Robin knows. Robin knows how to put down hecklers.
Yeah, it's true.
On Plaid, they say, Plaid offer a story of change, but they cannot show how they will turn that into government. They have stepped back from immediate independence because they know it does not add up, but they still cannot answer the basic questions of tax, spending and delivery. They talk about the future. We can build it. Plaid promises change. Welsh Labour delivers it.
I mean, that's pretty rough coming from a government that's delivered sweet FA for quite a long time.
Yeah, we can build it. We haven't.
We haven't, but we could have.
Yeah, we could have. And we might.
Yeah, we might not, but we could.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, obviously, the fact that Plaid aren't mentioning independence is completely fair to bring up. And and if I was a Labour candidate, then I would be doing that. And there are some people who are, I have friends who are left-leaning, but absolutely do not want Welsh independence. So I think if that's a narrative that they want to be going for that unionist left-wing angle, then that is something they should be doing. But then to sort of again try and paint this picture of we don't know what they're gonna do, but we can do it. You've had time.
I think the problem is I think there's totally legitimate reasons to wonder, could Plaid actually deliver on all the things that they're promising?
Yeah, for sure. You just don't know.
The problem is when it's the person who definitely hasn't delivered
that's
saying
the
it, it's like, the reform one I would say actually is they do a bit better.
Okay, go on.
Okay, reform, full stop. Anger without answers. Reform voters are not choosing a government, they are venting their anger. People are frustrated with long waits, tired towns and political noise. Reform tell them Wales is broken and that nothing could be worse than more of the same. But Reform offer cuts and chaos disguised as tough choices, attacks on public services people rely on the most, division in our communities and a bonfire of rights and protections. They would put at risk the things people quietly rely on, the NHS, free prescriptions, workers' rights and help with the cost of living. Reform want you to be angry. We want you to be better off. Reform points the finger. Welsh Labour rolls up its sleeves.
But better off than what? Better off than what is currently happening, which is Welsh Labour. It doesn't, I mean...
It's so hard, isn't it, when you come from a point of view of...
Yeah.
Just, you are the continuity party.
I think it's really difficult. And I actually do think, in fairness to them, no matter what they said in this, we'd be like, where is it then? Where's the cake, Sheila? Do you know what I mean? We'd be like, you haven't done it.
What's that from?
I don't know. I think it's Desperate Housewives.
Where's the cake, Sheila?
Cake, Sheila. I think, as you said, I think their attack lines on reform, that is what on the doorstep, that is how you attack them, right? But then it falls short at the end. We're going to roll up our sleeves. The sleeves have remained very, very close to the cuff for quite a few years.
Our hands are just blue.
Yeah.
So it's so hard, and we've mentioned this before. You sort of almost feel for Eleanor Morgan because she's inherited this legacy and has had an amount of time to try and sort of like rejig it and go, we are the new new Welsh Labour government, has tried to do a few resets. It just hasn't stuck. So what do you do? Do you go full Cardiff City Vincent Tan and change the shirt colour? Do you go full rebrand? I don't know, but like it's almost an impossible task.
Yeah.
And those attack lines, it wouldn't convince me.
It's like it is very much if your dad chain smokes but tells you off for smoking.
Sure, do as I say but not as I do.
Yeah. So they do actually mention Eleanor Morgan. They don't mention, so there's 150 pages in one document and there is, I think, 12 in the other one, and they don't mention Keir Starmer at all.
I mean, I see why. I do get it.
But they do talk about Eluned Morgan. So
Many times.
they talk about her a lot. But on her, they say she brings passionate, direct leadership rooted in Welsh communities and sharpened by her experience in the private sector. She understands how investment decisions are made and how to get Wales on the shortlist and over the line. But then we come to Hugh Davies, the Deputy First Minister. So a kind of glowing indictment of Eluned. And then they say, Hugh Davies brings steadiness, integrity and long experience in government. People know where they stand with him.
It's like, you know when somebody says, what are they like? And it's like, do you know what? You know who they are.
Yeah. You can't push him over.
No.
He's very steady.
He's very steady.
He's got a great core.
People know, they know where they stand with him. It's not a glowing indictment of who is like generally a liked man.
Yeah. I mean, they know where they stand with him.
I enjoyed chatting to him when he chatted with us on the Royal Welsh pod.
Is that because he brought steadiness, integrity, and long experience?
I mean, the table we were at was wobbly. He
stabilised it.
He did.
That container was flowing in the wind beforehand, but then he stabilised it.
I mean, he's one of the biggest, apart from Eluned Morgan, he's one of the biggest sort of names for Welsh Labour who is still standing at this election.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of leads me. Did you see?
Sorry to interrupt. No. But the idea that we're not going to do more of the same, and then you talk about Iranka Davies, more of the same. Yeah. You know what you're getting. Don't just talk about him.
Steady.
Steadiness.
Yeah.
Steady the ship.
You know what you're getting.
They then talk about their candidates and they say, our slate of new candidates across Wales brings the generational shift people are looking for. People who reflect a modern Wales in all its diversity and energy.
I hated that.
Let me tell you who's top of the Swansea list. His name is Mike Hedges.
Mike.
The new generational shift. Did you see this tweet, the video I put out of him inside the Senedd?
Was this just after the COVID committee?
No, this wasn't him checking his phone. This was him.
This is a couple of weeks after.
Yeah, where he was saying it's where he basically got really, really upset because people didn't agree with him that the US had the best economy in the world. Should we play this for people?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Let's do it. You also get quite a sassy Adam Price, who
my favourite type of Adam Price. Sorry, can you just pause it a second? Just pause it a second. How is the face of the new generation, modern Wales and diversity?
So audio listeners, you've got Mike Hedges, who there's nothing wrong with experience, but he's not a young man. You've got Jenny Rathbone, who is about to dislocate her jaw in incredulity. And hilariously, you've got in the background, because they're in the temporary Senedd chamber, you've got pillars. And Andrew RT Davies is behind the pillar, like the Minotaur from Greek mythology.
Modern Wales right here. I feel so seen. No,
Mel, I'm going to push back on that because these guys might not be the most modern politician in some ways, but with it he brings knowledge. Let's investigate.
In 2010, it involved a default of all three of the country's major privately owned commercial banks in late 2008.
Following your speech with interest as ever, in relation to your point about small nations, given what you've said, why do you think Iceland has the fifth highest GDP per capita in the world, considerably higher than the UK or indeed Wales?
I think most people accept that the most powerful and economically strong country in the world is the United States of America, which certainly isn't a small country. But I'd be happy to discuss this in a future debate. And if you'd like to bring along a debate in that, I'd be more than happy to take part in it.
Yeah. Jenny Rathbone stands up.
The United States is spending more money on prisons than it is on education. That's a broken country.
I'm discussing the United States wealth rather than how they spend.
Now, we'll go back to him, but what I want to say is Mike Hedges is a man who just doesn't ruffle. You cannot break that stride.
He's unshakable.
He's going to be so calm now. You know, he's been challenged by what many would say is perfectly legitimate criticism of a terribly made point of his. But he's not going to let that ruin his flow.
And I think the United States is not a good example of how money is spent. But in terms of wealth, United States, it It's primary in terms of wealth. If somebody can name another country which is wealthier than the United States of America, let me know. Because everything I ever read shows it well ahead of China and the European Union on total.
I just wanted to provide the information that you were seeking on which countries are richer than America. I went for GDP per capita. Monaco, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Bermuda, Ireland, Switzerland, Iceland, still coming to the United States pretty soon, Cayman Islands, Singapore, Norway, United States 8th. There you go.
Can I help you? Because you seem to have difficulty understanding. In terms of absolute wealth, the United States has got the biggest GDP in the world.
We're talking about powers for a purpose, wealth for a purpose. Surely we're looking at the impact that a country can have on its citizens. That's per capita.
If this is your argument for independence, please make it. Please put a resolution down calling for independence for Wales. Please make that argument. Please send the 12 billion to 16 billion pound back.
No, I don't like this.
Classic oratorial sparring from some of the greats of our generation, and the last generation, and the next generation, all of which are in the great smorgasbord on offer up in the next Senedd election.
Did you see that after Jenny Rathbone's intervention, Andrew RT Davies couldn't handle it and hid behind the pillar? He slowly sort of, you know, that Homer Simpson going back into the head thing.
That was
the Apiorawath Price 1-2 of SAS was quite an interesting.
Yeah.
the sass popping off from the Plaid corner was exemplary, I will say.
Oh my!
Enjoyed your contribution as always.
Yeah,
As always.
Just a little. Oh, Mike.
As ever.
Yeah,
okay, so that's Labour's next generation of politicians.
Okay, yep, that's the next generation of politicians. Now, so in their policy handbook, so that was all about kind of their messaging, but this is their policy handbook.
Yeah.
They had a section at the start called "We promised in 2021 and we delivered."
Okay.
We promised in 2021 and we delivered.
Okay, what was it?
So there's a few things in there which I will say, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, we banned single-use plastics and vapes. They promised, they delivered. They have taken bold action to tackle the problem of second home ownership in some communities and support local people to rent and buy. First part of that, yep, fair enough. Okay. We passed a trailblazing new law to remove private profits from children's services. Yep, totally did it.
Cool.
Now, we then come to homelessness. So their promise was they had a high-level action plan. Their words, not mine. High-level action plan to end homelessness by 2026.
That's this year.
It is this year.
That is this year. We promised and we delivered. Under homelessness, they just said, we are determined to do everything we can to prevent homelessness.
Yeah, cool. I mean, aren't we all?
Can we just take it as read that we don't want homelessness?
Yeah.
So is Prince William. He's very determined.
Yeah. You know, aren't we all? No, that has to come out of that section of this. That can't be allowed in
They
there.
promised,
That's
they
really
delivered.
funny, isn't
They
it?
need to
Like,
take
it's
that
still
out
in
of
there.
this section.
Like before it got signed off, it was like, keep this in for now. In caps. You know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
on a writer's room and you like, fix joke.
Yeah.
And then you accidentally send that
Punchline
over.
later.
Yeah, joke here.
I mean, technically, they didn't promise or deliver it.
Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
No, that doesn't get to be in that section. Sorry, but I do understand that the section's looking a little bit meagre.
Yeah, sure.
I understand that.
Yeah, lots of the stuff they mentioned, I think, are really good things that they did. I don't think anybody sitting on an NHS waiting list right now is sitting at home thinking, well, thank fuck I don't have that single-use plastic. And I'm not saying it wasn't good to ban single-use plastics, but in terms of your offer to the electorate of what you did, it's basically you can now refill your vape.
Yeah, and is that a priorities thing, or is that just the fact that those were easy decisions? Those were ones that they had the means to do, so therefore you've got to do it. Well, like, because I suppose there is the argument that they were never going to be able to fix the NHS waiting list based on the amount of power and money they have.
Well,
so do they sit on their hands and not do some of these smaller things?
I totally take your point on that. Like, that it is easier to ban single-use plastics. That's one stroke piece of legislation. Yeah. It is done. They did actually mention waiting lists. So I remember speaking to Elena Morgan at the start of this Parliament, so 2021, and she said that the waiting list would be back to kind of the pre-COVID levels. Yeah. They're not, but she.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
She said, but in we promised, we delivered. They just said, we are cutting the longest waiting times and providing more care closer to home. they've barely moved for like 5 months. Like, just don't treat people like idiots.
The thing is, though, what do we expect them to say? In their defence, like, because at the moment we all know they are just waiting in May and then they'll be out. They know this, we know this. What are they going to say? Do you know what I mean? What are they going to put? 1-page document past the mic. That's it. Do you know what I mean? We had to go.
Yeah.
You know, like they have to try and at least pretend.
I'd like that in their document. Like, don't be sad that it ended. Be happy for the time we enjoyed. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't be sad it ended. Be glad it happened.
Yeah. You know, they have to at least pretend that they're fighting this election.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess this is going out to candidates, right? Like, especially if you're 5th or 6th on this list, it's quite a tough job to be going like, right, I've got to read this.
If you're second, you've got no chance.
Yeah.
There's 16 constituencies, and they're probably going to get 10 MSs.
Yeah, that's a brutal.
Eleni Morgan's probably going to lose her seat.
Yeah.
Like, it's becoming crazy.
That latest poll, it seemed like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it is rough for them. Anybody working within that, having to have formed this document, what a bad day at work.
Yeah.
Writing what you know is pointless.
One thing we should say is they haven't brought their manifesto out yet. And it's very hard to look forward if you're not looking forward.
Sure, yeah.
When are manifestos due to come out? Do we know?
I think policies will be drip fed over the coming couple of months. I imagine the full kind of manifesto, I would guess March, like start of March time. Like
feels late, doesn't it? It does feel late for the election, but also we're interested, and we would have loved this in September, whereas most of the electorate will start giving a shit around April.
Yeah. Is there an idea of like who's going to release it first in terms of starting the firing pistol to start the narrative? Because I saw that, like, from a UK perspective, Kemi Badenoch said, well, you know, if Conservatives get into power, they'll do the Australian style, banning under 16s from social media. And then the Labour government said something similar a couple of days later. And it feels like, obviously, where Kemi Badenoch speaks, people don't listen. But like in terms of like being the first person to say something, and obviously there's going to be ideas from the left side of the spectrum and the right side of the spectrum that are going to be similar. So is there an idea that you should release your manifesto sooner to be like, that's my work?
Yeah. I think what will probably happen is there will be like Plaid announced their offer on childcare back in the autumn, and I was at Verena Corns did a press conference today as we record this earlier in the week to when you're listening to it, and he was kind of going hard on that childcare offer. So that will be in the manifesto. I imagine that it's in the interest of you as a party to like basically wait till later, because actually for Plaid, they're doing well.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily want to. I think Reform's manifesto will probably come out if they win.
Do you really think that?
I don't think they'll get a manifesto. We're not going.
What was it before? It wasn't a
not
manifesto.
the pledges. Was it the promises, the covenant?
The Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant. Oh,
I feel like it was pledges, wasn't it?
I feel like it was a contract with the public.
Contract.
Very business language,
yeah.
Funnily
contract
enough.
of you.
Business.
the contract to the people.
Yeah.
Our contract with you. Britain needs reform, and Reform UK needs you.
Obsessed with Zahawi joining, by the way. Absolutely obsessed.
Oh, have you seen the old tweets resurfacing?
It's so good.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, of how I'd never join Reform, they're this, that, and the other. Are you going to get them up?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're so embarrassing. Like, you would at least go back and delete them. That's what gets me.
Yeah, sure.
We all change our opinion. I would just go back and do a cheeky archive.
Yeah, you
scroll.
could literally search his handle with Reform and Farage and just delete all.
Yeah.
So has he defected in, has he jumped without thinking about it, like in a sort of like he found out he wasn't getting a peerage and then just went, well, fuck you then.
Well, if the gravy train's stopping by the station, you've got to get on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The man loves money.
So this is what he said in 2015. He tagged Nigel Farage in this. I am not British born, Mr. Nigel Farage. I am as British as you. Your comments are offensive and racist. I would be frightened to live in a country run by you.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
But not serve in a country run by you.
Just to be clear, I am as British as letter U, letter R, you are. Your YR comments are, letter R, offensive and racist, or one word. I would, WLD, be frightened to, number 2, live in a country run by capital U.
Did he finish it off with lol BRB.
No, it's XOXO Gossip Girl. It's so weird.
IDST, if the story's still true.
Like 2015 we weren't fully into like tech speak
We weren't
then,
doing
right?
that. We were doing that when it was back in the day of like, the phones were like you have to press 3 times for C.
It was like
one time for D.
10p a text and you didn't want it to go over to the seconds one.
Exactly.
The only excuse that is if you just stop playing Snake in order to be able to do
Yeah,
it.
that was me in year 8.
Yeah.
Right? This was a grown man in government. Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, good luck. Oh,
Good luck, babe.
we're quaking on our boots.
Absolutely. But yes, manifestos, reform. You don't think they'll bring anything out, but policies. Surely they'll announce policy.
There will be, they're common sense policies, aren't they? They're just common sense.
Okay.
They're just Robin, you just got to do some common sense.
Right.
You're not aware of this?
So smoking in cars is fine. I can cut the seatbelts out of my cars. That kind of thing.
That's your car. That's your choice,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what we need? We need a Welsh ice. Yeah. It's working really well everywhere
It's
else.
going
That's
so
what we should
well.
do.
A Welsh Doge
For
and
the
a Welsh
fucking
Ice.
17 immigrants in the whole of Wales. Let's do that.
Yeah. But it's common sense. It's common sense, guys.
I do, and we've talked about it before. That in terms of that pure American playbook, and you see it online with very sort of pro-Christian. I'm a God-fearing Briton, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I've mentioned this before. I don't know how much crossover there is between that American ideology and the UK.
I think they basically are the two sides of the same Bitcoin. Like they basically. Do you remember when one of Reform's MPs got done for domestic violence?
Yeah.
And they went to various Reform MPs, various is barely any, and they said, "Oh, we're a Christian country. I believe in forgiveness." Like it's and I know we're not for Wales, see the US, but if you needed any examples of how essentially it is a dictatorship takeover of the US, it is literally happening right now. Like that's what's happening there, and
it's horrible to watch, and I think should be taken not as an example and something to aim for. Just regardless of party politics aside, I think there should be morals as a country we all uphold, and maybe we should look at that with fear.
People like Trump and people like Farage, they don't stop until someone stops them.
Yeah.
You have to stop them. There is no limitation on their own ambitions. They will do what they can until they are stopped, like toddlers.
Yeah.
So where do you see that with Trump though? Because he'll finish this second term. And do you feel like there is that realm for him to go, well, actually, it's going to be a cheeky 3 for me?
Well, I'd imagine maybe if a country's at war, they can't possibly have a change of leadership right now. It'd be really bad. We've seen those generals who've been replaced in the US Army basically speaking directly to troops, saying, if you are told to do something unconstitutional, it is your duty to refuse that order. Like, ultimately, in all of these things, the ultimate fallback is who controls the men with guns. Really. If you look at, like, long history, that's where these things can be stopped. So it's a scary time.
Yeah, you've made the new studio very scary for me, Will.
Scary.
The velvet drapes aren't.
We've pivoted pretty hard from Mike Hedges.
Yeah. A man did approach me the other day, and in a bit of a drunken state, and it wasn't. And normally when people talk to me about the podcast, they're in very like positive ways, and like we love it. If I were to summarise his drunken point, it was, what a load of bollocks, which I was like, sure, thank you for listening anyway. And, he was like, you guys don't care about the people coming in small boats from Pakistan.
Yeah.
That is quite a journey.
And I laughed, which didn't calm him down.
No, laughing at that kind of man, I imagine, didn't go well.
It didn't go well. I was just like, do you know where Pakistan is?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually don't have the capacity to explain to you right now how impossible that journey would be.
So did the small boat go through the Suez Canal or around the Cape of Good Hope? Talk me through it.
Through the Bermuda Triangle, up and over.
Who is making this small boat? Fair play to that company.
Literally.
Yeah, that is incredible marketing.
Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex.
Incredible point. But they're angry. They're angry, and Labour's going to handle their anger better.
Yeah, they're going to send Mike Hedges to every doorstep.
Yeah.
What's one of the advantages of getting these things kind of exclusively is we can dip into this bag of tricks up until the Rumps election, especially if we're short of content, which we're probably not going to be because it's the time that everyone's interested in Welsh politics. But I thought that was some nice insights.
So I got a really interesting phone call yesterday from a journalist, and basically asked me if I was rage-filled that Plaid Cymru social media team had created memes using me.
I did see.
Did you see it?
I saw that.
Yeah. So my biggest gripe, because I hadn't seen them, my biggest gripe is that I look like a munter in all of them, right? Genuinely, of all the pictures they could have used, they had me literally like.
Was it from
squinting.
TV? Was it from a TV show?
Well, this is the thing. So their big kind of gripe with it was, do you feel like they're using you to promote them publicly? And then I think other people had been more pissed off with it and had complained. I know one of the people who they created memes of is a paid-up Tory member, so she was fuming.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it is odd because for me, I was like, Plaid didn't need to ask my permission. It was taken from a TV show that I was in.
Yeah, the copyright's not held by you there, is
No,
it?
it's not like they've gone to my camera roll and like found a photo of me and photoshopped it. But it is odd seeing your face saying something that tells people to vote for Plaid when I have not said that publicly. And I was wondering, I don't know if you know the ethics of it more, but, and a friend of mine was particularly annoyed because he doesn't quite trust Plaid's record on things like transphobia and so on, and he's a very big advocate of that, and they'd used him a lot. But he was like, they haven't done anything legally wrong, but it just felt odd and uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's strange, isn't it? Is this sort of like Brave New World of, you know, everything is content?
Yeah.
And having to put things out that often that the morality kind of gets parked a little bit.
Yeah.
I got someone text me to say, like, did you see the Mel Plaid thing, like, on their socials? And I was like, I searched for it, and then I imagine it's been deleted since then.
I saw it yesterday.
I'm looking on their Instagram now, and I can't see
I checked
it.
last night.
and they're
it was
gone. Very interesting, because I know that the A News platform was digging around yesterday to try and be like, is everybody happy with this? Like I said, my genuinely biggest gripe with it was they really could have used better photos of me. But other people have kicked off.
Yeah.
And it is interesting when you've got somebody's face saying vote for this party when you have not said that.
I got to admit, so I follow like all the parties on like
Yeah.
on social media, not on my personal social media because Jesus Christ, why would you ever do that? But it came up and I like saw a post from Plaid, saw you, and my first thought was, oh, was she at a Plaid event? Did they book her for something? And then was like, no, they've clearly clipped this from a TV show.
Yeah.
And because everything there, it was I can't remember the exact things, but it was like your face like reacting and then your face reacting in a different way. And it was basically like, when you see this, but then you realise it's this. It was those kind of things that because I know that like I've never known you kind of like the time we've been doing this pod. You've not been affiliated to any party that I've been aware of.
No.
And I found it a little bit incongruous, like, oh, what's that? That's weird. I mean, in terms of, there's a difference between ethics and legality, as we're going to keep seeing more and more in the US, I think. But the owner of that copyright is the production company who made it, or the company that commissioned it. I'm guessing they didn't get permission. They probably just screenshot off a screen, didn't they? And that's a really common practice. But I think it does take you aback, doesn't it, when you see that?
Because it did make me wonder how many people are going to see this and think that I am now promoting Plaid Cymru. You know, and it was really odd. It was odd, and they didn't have to ask my permission, but the truth of it is, had they, I would have denied it.
Yeah.
They didn't have to, but I would have said no.
Yeah.
I found one of my first thoughts was actually, oh, so they're doing it with Mel because they see Mel as like a really recognised face. I was like, oh, well done, Mel.
Yeah, which is lovely that they think it's like worth doing. It is
Theresa
odd.
May.
Yes, exactly. She was
Yeah,
also very odd.
Doing the dance when Plaid get a majority.
She's just
The
like,
Maybot comes out.
She's like, people say they don't want independence. She's in a field of wheat.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, I tried to find it yesterday when a friend texted me.
Yeah.
That, it had been deleted, and I saw lots of their other content being like traitors memes.
Right, yeah.
I suppose it's that thing of Wales is a small country, and it feels way more personal, doesn't it?
Yes,
when it's in this pressure cooker thing. Whereas I guess a Scottish contestant on the traitors isn't going to care if the Welsh National Party do that.
Yeah.
Weird though. That must
Very
be weird.
odd. Didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Didn't enjoy it at all. I'm sure it wasn't done with any ill feeling, any malice, this, that, and the other, but just, I think, an unwise choice.
Yeah.
And impolite, you might say.
It would be a bit like us taking a video of Andrew RT Davies and putting underneath it him looking excited and saying, when you hear that a new 4 Wales Sea Wales has dropped.
Yes, exactly.
which I'm sure is how he does react.
We should do that.
Should we do that right now?
He just disappears behind a pillar.
That is what he'd do when a new episode drops. Oh no, they're going to be talking about me again, the land you get the farm.
It's like, I haven't done anything for months. Why are they still slagging me off?
Guys, I enjoyed that.
Yes.
I enjoyed our new home.
Lovely first one in the new digs.
Yes, absolutely. Onwards and upwards. I think some magic is going to be made in these 3 walls.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And an exciting year ahead.
It is, indeed. It's it genuinely is. This is what we started this podcast for.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fuck it up.
No, it's happening. It's happening. We do have some exciting news about live shows because people have been asking. We do have not 1, but 2.
That is a show of strength.
It is. It is a show of strength. Keep your eyes and ears open. That's all we say.
Just, if you listen in Dubai, you're going to be very disappointed.
In Riyadh.
Yeah, the Riyadh Politics Podcast.
We're actually getting a small boat to do a live show in Pakistan.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
exactly. We're going to have to leave now, actually, to
Yeah,
get there in May. But no, really, really exciting. And I've really enjoyed this.
Same. See you next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Diolch yn fawr.
Ta-ra.